Hello, America. This is Bad Christian again, and today we are back on Listening with the Bad Christian. It's Friday, October 10th of 2025, and we're going to just talk about a few things that are going on in the world right now. We're from the outside. We're looking in on politics and the human condition and how those two things connect to try to get an idea of where we need to step next in this world and what is healthy for our society in the future, which unfortunately, folks, I don't see a lot of healthy stuff coming in the future, but I do see a lot of things coming that I want to talk about, people. You know, I just seen where Donald Trump was making a deal for some icebreakers. And I thought to myself, well, what does the United States military need icebreakers for? And then I remembered everything that he was campaigning on. I remember everything that he was talking about doing. And I don't know if y'all know what the technocracy is or what a technate is, but you probably ought to take the time to go look at that and probably see how Elon Musk is even connected in all of that, and his family all the way back to his grandfather, who set up shop in Canada back in the day. But we have to understand that originally we talked about taking Canada, taking Greenland. We talked about taking the Panama Canal. So, y'all, we need to be paying attention. These pieces are being moved into place. Why would we need battleships? We need battleships because we've got to encapsulate Canada somehow. If I had to guess, I would have to look in the future that we have to get into some kind of conflict or worry of conflict with Russia so that we can make our way up around Canada, because we've got to get to Greenland. We've got to make a military movement in that direction, and the fact that we want a bunch of icebreakers, because, you know, we can't afford to feed little immigrant kids because their mom and dad came across the border illegally, but we can afford to buy all these icebreakers. We don't know what we're going to use them for, but you know, we're boasting the military. And that's just it. If it's priority, it's priority. You know, this is a government of a people, not the government of war. Priorities do matter, okay? Trump's the one who cut the funds in the big, beautiful bill to health care, okay? The Democrats didn't do that. He's the one cutting the funds. And they are arguing about it in there, but the truth is he's the man who took the money away. And he gave you an excuse so that you would be okay with it. Meanwhile, he is spending like crazy. He calls it the big, beautiful bill because no other president has spent as much money as him in one bill. In one breath, we're here to save money, and the next breath, we're here to spend more than anybody else has ever spent. Why? Let's think back, people. Remember, we've got to get Canada. We've got to get Greenland. We've got to get the Panama Canal. And if I had to guess, Mexico is going to... I mean, why would we be fighting with Venezuela right now? Does this have anything to do with Venezuela? I know, oh yeah, we're going after the cartels, the narco-terrorists, they call them. I understand that. You want to stop fentanyl from killing people? I can respect that. But is that the true motive for being there? Because let's just stop and think about what's been going on, guys. He said he was going to go get the Panama Canal. If I was going to go get the Panama Canal, the first thing I would do is inhabit and occupy the water off of Venezuela so I could control the traffic that came in and out of the Gulf of whatever you want to call it, America, Mexico, whatever suits your fancy, I guess. So just so you know, pay attention. Pay attention, people. This has already been revealed to you. They told you what their plans were. They told you. Just like the political violence that exists in our system right now. They're telling you this is about us using the DOJ, weaponizing the DOJ to get rid of our opponents. Because we hate our opponents, he said. That was interesting at the Charlie Kirk Memorial. I couldn't believe it. They all come on talking about, we need to stop hating this country. And all these guests for hours came on there and talked about love and unity and serving Charlie Kirk. And then Donald Trump comes out there talking about, I hate my opponent. I hate my opponent. You guys, Jesus told us that which comes out of the mouth comes from the heart. That which proceeds from the heart comes out of the mouth of a man. And we will know these trees by their fruits. Pay attention to the fruit because he bears it every day right in front of you. He told you with his mouth what we were getting ready to do with our military when he came into office. Okay, so pay attention to that because we slowly see these pieces being put into play. Meanwhile, they got us fighting and arguing about people getting food, people getting health care, which last time I checked, it was a government of people, like I said earlier, and not a government of war. So priorities do matter again, people. Do you want to be the nation that's known for starving people and making war with other people? Do you want to be the nation that's known for making war with its own people and politicians against politicians? I mean, people want to talk about communism and how communism is so scary. Well, what if I told you it's not the communism you're afraid of, people? It's the effect and the results of those communist factions and what happens in those societies after those things set in. It is the result that you're afraid of. And guess what? You don't need communism to get to that same result. And even though what we got in front of us may not look like communism, it's having the same effect. The end result is exactly the same, people. And don't be surprised if you're somebody that voted for this, don't be surprised, okay? I mean, you wanted somebody that was sneaky and sly, okay? And you all thought you were so smart while you watched lobbyists go to colleges and debate with kids, okay? They're college students. And I'm not against Charlie Kirk, and I'm not for Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to call him good, and I'm not going to call him bad. But you know what I will do, America? I'll call him exactly what he was. The largest lobbyist to support the MAGA movement. This man's job was to go collect money. The whole point of Turning Point USA is to go out there and create this content through content creators and get these platforms to draw donors for elections. It's literally the point of Turning Point. So if you're somebody who spent the last 5 years pissed off because the lobbyists in the government are forming things to optimize business for their buddies because they were lobbied through their campaigns, and you support something like Turning Point and the movement that Charlie Kirk made, I know he made it look beautiful. The devil's really good at that. And I'm not calling him the devil. I'm just saying the movement has a purpose. Just like being at war with Venezuela, or the cartels, has a purpose, and it's not what it looks like. We're being diverted every day. Our attention span is growing to almost zero. I think we all have ADD at this point. Thanks, technology. As you sit here and watch my video on your phone. I mean, we're going to talk about the communist effect and the things that they have. North Korea. Communist country, they're absolutely terrible. Why are they terrible? They're terrible because he funds his military over feeding his people. Think about that. Think about that, America. We don't have to be communist to have the same end result, people. It's not about that. We have to stand on the outside and look in. And I just want to encourage Americans, don't pick the left. Don't pick the right. Pick neither side. There's no reason to pick evil. Step back and take a breath and see what you're looking at. Because if we stop giving these politicians and these politics power over us, they would have no power over us. And our unity would override their ridiculous crap that they feed us every day. I mean, this stuff's getting out of control, guys. It's getting out of control. When somebody is willing to go on to public TV and sit down with a group of people at a table and try to explain to you how Portland is war-ravaged to justify bringing the American military against American citizens, there's a big problem. There's maybe 24 people in the street at any one time over there, guys. And if anybody's been paying any attention, obviously he hasn't. But if anybody's been paying attention to the actual footage, and not just taking a snippet that's up close and you can see this, this ICE agent and this protester getting into it. Step back. Pay attention. How many people are actually there? What's actually going on? More is going on in Chicago is going on in Portland. Not that I agree with either one. I just think it's stupid. These people aren't showing up with lethal force. Civil war happens when the government comes out and stands against the people with their lethal power, and then the people come and stand against the government with its lethal power. Now if you love your Constitution and you love your country, you should be protecting yourself against these types of politics. Because it's a good way to lose your country. And if you're standing back there going, I want revolution, I don't want to hear you saying, go 1776, go Constitution, my rights, my rights. Your rights don't mean crap when you're willing to take rights away from other American citizens due to their politics. You don't deserve your rights at that point. It's absolutely ridiculous, people. And like I said, I am not here to be an influencer. I am here to be a defluencer. I'm trying to defluence this stuff out of your guys' head to make you step back and think about this for a second. We have a government shutdown because we can't agree to give people in this country, citizens or not, a little bit of medical care if they show up at the hospital, because point blank, they're not covered. The only way that that's coming out of that money is because they go to the hospital, they show up at the emergency room, they got a problem, they don't pay the bill, the government comes and pays the bill for them. That's different. That's different than adding medical coverage. So if you took the money away, knowing that the next coming fiscal year, there wasn't going to be enough money to go around, don't blame it on the other guy. You're the one who took the funds away. If there were enough funds there before, did anybody go without before? Anybody? Or was, I had to sit in the hospital too long because there were some Mexicans in there. They didn't even speak English. If that's your attitude, check yourself. Check yourself. Because you don't deserve mercy if you can't give mercy. And that's Jesus, not me. I didn't say that. Jesus did. By the measure that you measure others, you'll be measured, which means by the way that you judge those other demographics of people, that's the type of judgment you deserve. So think about that. Me as a Christian, I am the bad Christian, and you are listening to me, but at the same time, me as a Christian, I got a lot of Christian brothers and sisters right now that think the Pope is the devil. I've heard that. The internet has pushed that, and I said, look here, whoa, not having this conversation. And the reason I'm not going to get on board with that is because the amount of time and effort that man has put forth, regardless who's sat in that seat, to serve Christ and serve the church, I can't even hold a candle to that. And I don't want to be measured by that standard. And the last thing I want to do is call him a devil, because when I stand before God, what does that make me? And with that same fervent discourse, we need to be having that same discourse over our politics too. And don't sit here, if you're somebody on the right, don't sit here and say, well, you're not allowed to mix religion and politics, because that's what Charlie Kirk did. That's what Turning Point did. He mixed those two things, and it was okay for him, and he was regarded as a national hero. National hero. But truly, if you want to talk about what Charlie Kirk was, the largest lobbyist to ever get the MAGA movement moving. The man's he was a lobbyist, guys. His job was to get money from donors. Turning Point was created to get people elected that they wanted in those places. And they made platforms for creators, and they sent them out in the streets, and they went to all the questionable places. They went to all the gay pride rallies, and they went to the Biden rallies and the Harris rallies, and they went to all the Democratic events they could get, and they stuck out like a sore thumb, and they said, I'm the squeaky wheel, I need the grease, but you're not allowed to tell me I can't be here. And now those same people that got that platform want other people to shut up and go home. You don't deserve your platform if that's who you are. You don't deserve it. If that's the influence as an influencer you're putting out in America, you don't deserve to influence anybody. It's time to stop all this influence and start defluencing America, people. We're obligated to stand on neither side. Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to step back and go, you know what? I'm not right and I'm not left. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to look at the argument between the two and I'm going to try to make some sense out of what's going on here. I mean, guys, if you're afraid of being attacked by an illegal immigrant, step back and ask yourself, are you more afraid of being attacked by an illegal immigrant, or are you afraid of being attacked by a politician? Because those illegal immigrants can't do near the damage that those politicians are doing to us, guys. And before you make that illegal immigrant or that undocumented person somebody that you're going to target, stop and think about that. Will you support politicians going after human beings? Where's our humanity, people? Where's the human condition? Where are we at? Are we doing all right? How's it look when you turn on the news and you listen to one idiotic statement and lie after another? How is our human condition doing? And don't tell me, oh, this is about the radical left. And don't tell me this is about the radical right. They're all radical at this point. They're so radical I can't stand on either side. So I'm going to stand in between them and I'm going to put my hands out and I'm going to say, whoa, everybody, whoa. It's time to slow down and stop and think about what we're looking at. It blows me away. Guys, back to where I started with all this. I know I jump around. But just remember, he told us what his plans were. We're going to go get Greenland. We're going to go try to get Canada. And we're going to go all the way down to Panama Canal. So as you slowly watch these things unfold, and they call it different things, and they say it's different things, just remember what the original idea was. Never forget that. Because all those lobbyists that came to people like Charlie Kirk and the other members of Turning Point because they liked the way they spoke in the street or they liked the influence that they had on other Americans and said, hey, here's a couple of $1 million. Maybe you could say it like this. They all had a part in this, every single last one of them. And they're there to sway you towards the things that will profit for them. That's why when people get into office, right or left, let's not just blame this on Trump now. It happens to all of them. As soon as they get into office, the first thing that they do is cut tax breaks for their donors. It's not a coincidence. Guys, it's insanity at this point. We keep investing in something over and over and over and expecting the same result, or expecting a different result, but continue to get the same result. Insanity. It's going to be the same crap, guys. Speaking of that same residual insanity, did anybody see that Israel and Gaza have a ceasefire? That's what we've seen, a dozen of these go down? And now Donald Trump's got 200 troops moving to Israel. Just remember, in that Bible there comes a point when the Gentiles will tread that holy city underfoot for 42 months, guys. And every day we inch closer, don't we? And you can say, we're here, we're the government, we're here to help. Does that make it okay? If you're somebody who liked Ronald Reagan, you ought to know better than that. You ought to know better. I just want everybody to think about these things, take these things into consideration. Do I expect to see a ceasefire from Israel and Gaza? No, I do not. Is it happening right now? How long will it last, guys? How long is it before their daddy Trump has to step up and go, you know what, you kids can't get along, so I'm going to bring my military in here. Boom, you got the Gentiles treading the holy city underfoot. I mean, we're this close, y'all. We're that close. So, as we continue to move on through all this and continue to do these things, I'm going to do the best that I can to keep you all updated and give you my opinion, even though my opinion does not matter, as I have so stated in the past and will continue to state in the future. But I hope you all have a great day. Keep your eyes open out there, America. Keep the love going. Shut the hate down. If something's telling you that you need to hate something else, step back, because that ain't Jesus and that ain't Christian. This has been The Bad Christian. Have a great day, everybody.